hello, and welcome to Temple of the Divine. I am your host, Miss Makita, High Priestess Makita Divine, and I am so glad you are here. We have a special show today with Miss Crystal Williams. We're going to talk all about the life journey and your special helpers that help you along the way. You are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, broadcasting you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Make sure to like, comment, share, and let everyone know. And come back on every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So, again, we're so glad you're here. We're going to have my guest introduce herself, Miss Crystal Williams. Tell us, first of all, welcome. I'm
Thank
so glad
you.
You're here.
Thank you
Tell
so
us
much.
about yourself and how you got on this spiritual journey.
Okay, my name is Crystal Williams, as you already said. I am a licensed massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, and a spiritual advisor. What started my journey, it's quite a long story, so I'm gonna.
It's okay. We got
make
time.
It,
We got
make
time.
it as short as
This
possible.
is your time.
It started with I was a court reporter for 19 years, and I kept feeling it has to be something better. It has to be. It was just too stressful for me. And where I lived, the massage school was literally right down the street from me, and I had lived there for like 2 years. And so I took the tour, started massage classes, and I took a Reiki class. Actually, it introduced me to a lot. It introduced me to chakras, spirit guides, auras, just different spiritual, but I just focused on the massage. So as I started doing massage, I call her my spiritual guru, Asada Haki, Dr. Asada Haki. She called me one day and said she wanted to administer Reiki on me. It was the first experience I had when I took the Reiki class. It was so emotional. So I couldn't finish the other two classes at that time. So when she called me, I immediately told her no. I said, I got too emotional. I can't do it. And as soon as I said that, because I always get messages in my left ear, I heard, no, it's time. You're ready. So I told her, I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to, I'll take your, Reiki session. And as she was, I have to explain this part. When I first walked in, she said the spirit guides, I asked the spirit guides to lead me to what oils to use for your session. The oils that I use will be peppermint and lavender. So I said, okay. So she administered Reiki. When she finished, she said, do you know who you are? I said, no. And I've heard that a few times. So she said, your mother and your grandfather are in here right now. They're always with you. So she said, you got to speak your truth. You're not speaking your truth. You're holding everything in. She said, you're a seer. You need to speak your truth. So she said, she told me about the oils, and I said that was my grandfather. I said he always had, because I had this tickle in my throat that was just would not go away. And so she said that's why you have that tickle in your throat. So I said that's amazing, because my grandfather used to have a tickle in his throat all the time, and he always kept a peppermint somewhere around. And she said, what oil did I tell you that I used? I said, oh my goodness. I said, and lavender was my mother's favorite scent.
Wow.
So she said, yeah, your spirit guides are telling you you're ready. It's time. So then that's when I started my spiritual journey. I took this, it was a group that I was introduced from Dr. Haki. And I took it was a 12-week kind of program. And the person that led that group, she said the same thing. She said, you can speak to the underworld. And I said, what's the underworld? And she said, the dead. And I said, and all of my life, I would have dreams my life I could feel something or see something and it would happen, but I didn't know that that's what it was until, I got much older and I started this spiritual journey and I started healing myself.
Right. Okay.
That's what started it.
Okay.
Healing myself.
Awesome.
And not really paying attention to the naysayers.
Now tell so you said a couple things that for the viewers, just so they understand, what is Reiki and what does it mean to be? Is that when you say communicate with the dead, what is the definition? What does it mean to be a seer?
Okay.
And some people may have that and they don't even know. They're thinking something's wrong with them. Like, oh, what's wrong with me? Oh no, you're a seer.
Right.
So tell us some more about that.
I just want to clear something up real quick. When she told me, this was another person, she told me that I could communicate with the dead. We don't use dead because right, exactly, because the spirit never dies. So I say the spiritual world. Reiki,
the unhuman, what is it? I was listening to Abraham Hicks and it was a term she used. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was a physical and non-physical.
Yeah.
Non-physical.
Yeah. And I always say the physical and the spiritual.
Okay.
We have to get out the physical.
Okay.
Reiki is energy work. It's healing through energy work.
Okay.
Reiki, you can, when you administer as a Reiki practitioner, when I administer Reiki, I use my energy. If any of your chakras are closed, I can identify which ones that are closed, and then I can help you heal to open them up, and I also can open up your chakras.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's so powerful. It also heals the body physically as well as emotionally, spiritually. I broke my ankle in February. I was walking by, I would say, the end of April, and the doctors were really in awe. And I didn't tell him that I did Reiki, but I told him, that I did my own physical therapy, and he was like, "It's definitely working. Whatever you're doing, don't
just
stop."
Keep doing it. Right.
Yeah,
that's what they say. Just keep doing it.
Right.
Very good. Very good.
Being a seer, in my mind's eye, I can see something before it happens. I don't like to call myself a prophet, but I've felt certain things, and I may tell you, I see such and such, or I can feel this. And I was doing that even when I was little. I would feel like if my brother was playing, and I would say, okay, that's gonna break. It's gonna break in half, or it's gonna do this. And no, it's not. No, it's not. And it'll do exactly.
Here, brother.
Yeah. And he said, "How did you know that?" And I said, "I don't know." And with being a medium, if I'm sitting with someone, I'm a messenger. If a person keeps doubting themselves, keeps saying, okay, should I do this? Should I quit my job? Should I start my own business? Okay, what if I fail? They're going back and forth. Their spirit guides will send them to me, and then I'll relay the message to them in physical form.
Wow.
So usually what I say to them when I give them a message, they've already felt that. And they'll tell me, you just confirmed what I have been thinking, but I've been scared to do this, or I've been scared. So I appreciate you telling me. And I said, well, your spirit guides trusted me to relay the message to you.
Oh, awesome. So even all these, there's so many people out there who feel like they're alone. And like, is there a way that, I'll ask this question. So what are some of the ways that a person who is not familiar with Reiki or spiritual realm, what are some of the ways that you've seen where if they were a little bit more aware, they might have noticed something and not made the connection? Like, is there a way that you can feel that and know it, and even though you're not in Reiki or not a seer or something like that, like an average person, like what could, I guess one question, I'm having trouble getting it out, but it's like what would an average person experience where it's not really a coincidence, it's not really something that doesn't matter, it's important? Like, how can they know, like, oh, okay, that was a message for me?
When they feel it in their solar plexus or in their gut. When everyone has intuition. just don't trust themselves.
Mm.
And it's something as small as if you feel turn left and you always go right, or you always keep straight. If you're driving
Mm-hmm.
and you take the same route home every single day,
Mm-hmm.
and one day you feel turn left,
Mm-hmm.
and then you say, but no, I'm not going to turn left because I always go this way. And as soon as you go this way, it's a traffic jam, or it's a car accident, or something where you say, something told me to turn left.
Right.
That's your intuition, and that's your spirit guide speaking to you. Your spirit guides can be anyone that has passed on. You may not know them personally, or you may have been best friends in the physical form.
Okay.
It's someone who loves you enough to protect you, loves you where they want you to be safe, they want you to be successful in your journey, so they talk to you. It could be a song on the radio. It could
How many
be
times have I had that happen?
exactly. You'll hear a song, and I remember when my mother first made her transition, and she loved the Temptations, and she always knew I loved a cappella music. So one day I was getting in the car and I heard My Girl by the Temptations in a cappella. And it was no doubt in my mind that was from my mother. She talks to me all the time.
Awesome.
But that happens to every single person.
And we just don't notice it.
Exactly.
We discount it. We pass it off as,
Exactly.
oh, that's a coincidence.
Exactly. If you see a feather, a white feather on the floor, and it's just there, and I remember going to Shane Park when my niece graduated from high school. There were white feathers all along the path, and I knew what it was. It was the spirit guides of all the graduates, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles. I mean, it was just white feathers just all along. So, you have to, and I tell people all the time, meditate. You have to meditate. The shop that I work at, and I'll explain that where I work at a little bit more later, but the owner of the shop is Honey the Healer, and she was the one that introduced me really to meditate. She's a Reiki master.
Okay.
And she constantly tells people, meditate. People don't realize how much meditation can really answer all of your questions. So once I started a spiritual journey, it literally changed my life for the better. Seriously changed my life. So, and I'm trying to pass this healing on. If people stop, our main issue is we worry about what everybody thinks. We worry about what are they going to say if I do this? Or I'm used to going to church every Sunday, so if I decide, okay, I want to be spiritual and not religious, what are my friends going to say?
Oh my gosh, that's so big. It's so big. And that is one of the reasons why I originally was like, well, I'm just going to keep this to myself. They'll figure it out.
Right.
They'll figure it out. Y'all figure it out sooner or later. Okay, you're on your own.
Right.
Because I knew. But you know what happened is that when I started to talk more about it, I would meet people that would be in church and be like, oh, me too. But I just don't. I want to be in this. I want to have a community. I want to be with people. That's more kind of what they are looking at. So, so let's take a quick station ID. You're watching Temple of the Divine, where we discover, celebrate, and explore the divine in you on Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Broadcasting to you live or streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Make sure to like, share, comment, share. Comment, share. Comment. Did I say comment? Share this with everyone that you know, because this is some serious knowledge that Miss Crystal Williams, our guest, is sharing with us. It's things that people don't really talk about that often, but everyone needs to know. So don't, take it seriously and don't ignore. Just sit down, have a cup of coffee, and listen, because this is really valuable information here. So, okay, so continue on. So this is really, we were talking about how people are, you were saying how people are unhappy and doubting themselves, what advice do you have, or what is your experience with that to help people with those feelings?
The first thing I tell anyone that comes to me is this is your journey. This isn't anyone else's journey but yours. My mother was raised a certain way from my grandfather, who was raised a certain way. So they were conditioned to certain things that as we grow to different generations, we see, okay, well, that's not how it is now, or they should have done it this way.
Right.
So I used to tell my mother, you lived your life. Let me live mine the way that I want to live it.
Yes.
Because she would say, "Oh, you shouldn't buy a house. What if you buy a house and then you lose your job and it goes into foreclosure? What if you buy a new car?" And she always lived in the what if.
Right.
But I didn't. So I had to, for a long time, even cutting my hair. She loved my hair long. So I always wore my hair long because my mother, I didn't want to hear her say, "Well, I don't like your hair short. I don't like." Then I had to say, "Mom, this is my life. You did what you wanted to do. You got married, you had children. So let me live my life the way that I want to." That's our biggest issue. We worry about what everybody else thinks or says. Oh, she still lives at home with her daddy. He still lives at home with his mama. He's a scrub. It's not about. I'm not here to please anybody. I'm here to fulfill my purpose, and what my purpose is healing. And I'm not against religious people, by no means. Live your life the way that you so choose to live it. Because when it's all said and done, who's paying your bills? Who's taking care of you? If you get sick, if you decide, okay, I'm gonna do this because this person said I should do it, and then you're miserable or it goes wrong.
Right.
Are they gonna say, "Oh, okay, well, come on and move in with me"?
Right. No, can I move into your house?
You know what? I'm gonna pay your car note.
Right. I did what you told me to do, so can I come stay with you? Is that okay? What's up?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. And I do. I meet a lot of people who they make great money, have a great job, nice house, nice car, and they're miserable.
That was me.
That was me. That was me. When I was working at the court, I made excellent money because I was a court reporter, so I typed transcripts, so that was money on the side. So technically I had two jobs. Nice car, I had an apartment at Jeffersonian. So I mean, but I was miserable. I would get dressed, go to work, park in my parking spot, look at the building, and call in. Call in. Then after I called in, I would order some breakfast for my mother. My mother was very ill. I would order us breakfast and go home. She said, "Chris, what you doing here?" And every single day, I would say, "It gotta be a better way." And I loved being a court reporter. I truly loved being a court reporter, but it just wasn't fulfilling anymore. It was like I felt like it was something that I was supposed to be doing that was helping other people or something, instead of just sitting in the corner and trying to be robotic and listening to these horrific cases. And I said, okay. And then that's when I heard my spirit guides. That's when it was right down the street, and I didn't even know it was a school. I thought it was a yoga class, like place where you do yoga. And I went there, and it changed my life. And so that was the start of me, because people were like, "Are you quitting after 19 years? And you got a 3-year-old, and what are you gonna do? And oh, Chris, I feel bad." And no, don't feel bad. And again, I'm not knocking anybody who still works for the court. It just wasn't for me anymore. So when you start to feel, I also tell people, if it's hard work, it's time to do something different. Everything we got to do work. You got to put in the work. But when it starts to get hard emotionally and mentally, spiritually, that's your spirit guides telling you, open up your eyes. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay. So all you people out there that's working hard and you struggling and you're not happy, it's your spirit guides telling you it's time to move on. Pay attention.
And they hear it. That's the thing. Most times when people are, and I'm not talking about hard physically, because there are some jobs that are physically hard and you can still be happy. Yeah. But I mean when this is mentally, yes, yes. When you go home and you're crying and you're snapping at your kids and you, that means you're not living your purpose.
Now, now you mentioned about how you went every day, to work. How I always feel like the routine is kind of what keeps you asleep.
Absolutely.
Is it any like can you just doing something different every day, can that help people to kind of like wake up a little bit?
Absolutely. Go by the water. That's what Honey always tells people too. And she does the same thing, but water is spiritual. It's liberating. It's freeing. It's peaceful. It's calm. You can sit by the water, and that's a meditation in itself. You sit by the water, and while you're sitting by the water, you may hear, okay, now it's time to start your own business. And people hear it. When you get to that point where you're mentally drained at your job, you've already been thinking about starting your business 5 years or even a year before that starts to happen.
It's true.
Yes. You really do. You start to feel it, but you keep doubting yourself because one, you're conditioned. I work at Chrysler. I work at Ford. I'm a teacher. I got this great job. I'm a court reporter. I got this great job. I'm settled. I'm going to work, get my retirement.
Yeah.
So while you're waiting for your retirement,
your life is like going do 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 do.
Exactly. Exactly. So they hear it, whether it's in this ear, in your heart, your gut, you hear it all the time.
What do you think keeps people from, I know fear, but like at the core, what is it that keeps people? I had one person say to me that when you are, that people don't make change in their life until they hit rock bottom. Like, what is it? Is there, I guess my question is it true that we just have to hit rock bottom and things have to be shaken up to change? Or is there some other way besides, like, say we go to the water, but that we can recognize it's time to change and really just do it? Like, what keeps people in that box? I feel like there's this box, like religion is this box, okay, with some rules and regulations to keep you safe, which maybe it serves a purpose. But then there's like everything else. Like, how do you help people to get out of the box to begin with?
You said, I know it's fear, but there's no but.
No but.
It's only fear. Because you said most people, when they hit rock bottom, when you hit rock bottom, you don't have no choice. You see, there's a difference. When everything is going smoothly and it's status quo, you're good. A lot of people are. They're good. But when you hit rock bottom, say you lost your job or you get evicted, then you say, okay.
Yeah. Now you got to bust a move.
Yeah. Right. You got that 30-day notice, and so you're saying, okay, how do I make this money? Okay, come on, let's brainstorm. Okay, this because I don't want to lose my house. Okay, let's do. That fear is gone because now your fight or flight has kicked in. Fear is the most crippling disease of any disease that's out. Fear has stopped many a person from being a millionaire because they're afraid to take that next step.
Wow.
I've had so many clients say, I'm afraid to fail. And I said, what's failing? I I said, the only way you'll fail, and my mother always used to say, nothing beats a failure but a try. The only way you'll fail is if you don't do it. Because this is my third attempt at massage. I've had my business for a while, but the first time I had my business card. Then I said, okay, I'm going to get a full-time job. Second time, I had my business card, I got my EIN, and then I said it again. Okay, I'm going to get a full-time job. Or I'm going to get a part-time job and then let this be my secondary. So God spoke to me this time. He said, how many times I got to hit you in the head with a bowl? Because he going to hit you in the head with a pebble. If you don't listen, he going to hit you in the head with a rock. And if you don't listen, he going to hit you in the head with a boulder. Well, he hit me in the head with a boulder. I'm applying for all these jobs. Is it time for
No, I'm just, no.
I'm applying for all these jobs, and I'm saying I'm going to get a full-time job. I'm going to get a full-time job. And God said, I gave you a full-time job. All the energy that you're putting into all of these jobs, put it into your business.
That is so true.
So that's what I started doing. I started putting my energy into my massage business. Now I am totally legit official in the state of Michigan. So, but each time I just tweaked it.
How did you fight that urge to? So okay. How did you? I didn't mean to cut you off. But this is fascinating to me because I swear you telling my story. It's like Crystal, and really this is our story. So how did you break that urge? Like, it's almost like, was it right after you said you want to get another full-time job that something happened, or was there like this, like you said it and then you did it and there's a period of like a long time or a short time? Like, how did you make those three, the pebble to the rock scenario? How did that work?
Each job that I applied for, I started paying attention to the energy that I was putting into it, that I wasn't putting into my own.
Right. Okay.
I'll give you a perfect example. One massage job I worked at, I was barely making enough money to not even pay a bill, let alone pay a mortgage or rent. And so one day my car kept cutting off. And I'm driving, and I said, I had a mini breakdown, and I pulled over and I'm just crying, and I called my job, and the owner answered, and I'm boo-hooing, and I said, I don't have enough money to buy my son uniforms, and I don't have enough money to do this. And she said, oh, I understand. She said, because I gotta pay taxes on my house on the lake. And it hit me, and I said, I'm helping you make your dream come true, but I'm not making my dream come true. She said, I take offense to that. You're not helping me make my dream come true. I did this on my own. And she was right. She was right. So then, but again, I'm listening to everybody else. You got a son. You need to get a full-time job. How are you making ends meet doing this? How are you doing this, doing blah, blah, blah? So then that's when I applied for another full-time job. Didn't get it. I got the part-time job. But each time I kept hearing, why you not putting
That's so
energy?
important. That is so important to keep in mind, because I don't think people make that connection.
No.
Like, some people, you might not have a dream, but some people who do have a dream and you're working a job, you're not working for your job. You're working to help somebody else. Like Crystal's saying, you're helping somebody else live their dream, but you're not doing anything for yours. And before you know it, you're going to wake up and time is going to be passed, and you won't have anything to show for it. But somebody else's stuff. So that was a key thing to really keep in mind, that you don't want to go there. But luckily, you listened, and then tell us more.
Everybody has a dream. Every single person has a dream.
Oh, so you don't get no out. She said everybody has a dream.
Everybody. A lot of people lock it up. A lot of people say, okay, that dream will never happen, so let me get this 9 to 5. I'll never fulfill that dream of being a millionaire, so let me be realistic. But what's realistic? What's realistic is, okay, you're putting all your energy over here, so yeah, you're right, you won't be be a millionaire because self-fulfilled prophecy, as my godmother says. It's self-fulfilled prophecy.
Yeah.
If you say this too good to be true, you just
It
spoke
is.
that into the universe. But
mhm.
fear, that is the only thing, because it's not money. Because I'm telling you, when you live your purpose, God will always give you what you need. The universe will always, trust me when I tell you, I'm speaking from experience. Once I started living my purpose, I can literally just look at my purse and say, where did that come from? And it may only be $2. But it's still $2 that I know was not in there. I know my purse. God always, because He gives us a purpose. We're not here on this earth to please us. We're not here on this earth to say, okay, I'm happy and I'm the only one that's happy. I'm happy, but I try to spread it.
Let's take a quick station ID. You're watching Temple of the Divine on Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please make sure to watch. Well, you're watching now. Please make sure to like, share, comment, share, and come back every Friday at 2 p.m. for Temple of the Divine, where we discover, celebrate, and explore the divine in you. We're talking now with Miss Crystal Williams, breaking it down about not having doubt, about spirit guides, about fear, and all the things that you need to break yourself free from the routine and really begin to experience life the way God wants you to experience it. So, with that, let's continue with this very good. Oh, wait, let's do our our sponsors. So, just a couple of announcements. We'll go to our open box section. A couple of announcements. One is the WJZZ Open House and Jazz Listening Party is Sunday, September 26th at the Detroit Proven Loft, and it's 6 p.m. to midnight, and membership is gifted to everyone who shows up. So there's no reason for you not to be there. Just come. You like jazz? Just come. And then if you are a woman who is experiencing menopausal symptoms such as vaginal dryness, low libido, hot flashes, and mood swings, help is available with For Life Woman is a natural supplement containing L-citrulline, evening primrose, and velvet bean extract. Text WOMAN to 248-919-5444. WOMAN to 248-919-5444 for more information. Okay, Miss Crystal, tell us about your biz, girl.
All right. My business name is Intuitive Touch Relaxing Massage, and it's located inside of the Naked Truth Studios in Southfield. We're located at 21751 West 11 Mile Road, Suite 114, and that's in Southfield, Michigan 48076. We also have a store inside of the Naked Truth Studios. Honey, who I spoke of earlier.
We gotta get there.
Yes, you would love it. You would love it. Honey the Healer, she sells crystals. She makes her own jewelry. Actually, this is one of them.
Okay.
Thank you. She makes necklaces, bracelets, rings.
Okay.
We have sage. We have Florida water.
So tell us about a couple of those things. Like you mentioned sage and Florida water. Why might you want some sage or Florida water?
Yes. Florida water is cleansing, and it's also a protection.
Is that water you drink, or you do something else
you
with
spray it?
Okay.
You can cleanse your house. You can put it in your bath water. It actually is. It works the same as sage. So like if you're somewhere where you can't burn sage, then I always keep my Florida water in my purse in a little spray bottle. But sage, you have different types of sage. Some that are for blessings. All of them are for blessings, but some are focused more on blessings. Some for protection. You have the dragon blood sage, which is if you have some serious dark spirits around you, you will burn your red dragon So yeah, there are different types. We're all about protection and about cleansing.
Mhm.
We try to keep negative energy,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
negative
Yeah.
spirits. I have removed spirits from homes,
Mhm.
dark spirits. Um, it was one house. I actually was fearful myself.
Mm.
So then I had to step back and say, okay, God is giving the spirit of fear, and I had to keep saying that.
Because you're close. Because for you, I
Yeah.
can see how that would be even more. Because you're close to the realms too.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So I had to, you know, I'm human, so I did. I had fear, and but I got out of it really quickly
Mhm.
because this is my job, my
Mhm.
purpose, my assignment. So I went in and I removed the spirits, and she was so happy. She was
Where did
so
they
happy.
go?
Well, they go back to, or sometimes they cling to somebody else, or they
Mm.
go to somebody else's home
Mhm.
that's vulnerable.
Mhm.
But I try to allow them to go back to the portal from where they came from. Oh,
Mhm.
this is real.
Mhm.
This is
Now,
real.
how do we, when you say to someone who's vulnerable, because I think there's like, when we talk about vibration and energy, and we talk about, like, the scripture in the Bible says whatever is good, whatever is excellent,
Mm-hmm.
anything praiseworthy. To me, I feel like that's like raises your energy and your vibration. Is
Mm-hmm.
that what makes us less vulnerable? Is when we're vibrating at a
Absolutely.
high level? So I
Mm-hmm.
almost sometimes feel like they can't see you if you're vibrating up here because they're
Mm-hmm.
down here. So there must be a
Absolutely.
piece in me that's vibrating at that level for that
Mm-hmm.
energy to be messing with me.
When you meet someone and excuse me, blah 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 blah, and then you say no, excuse me,
It just
they know
hopped
you're
on you.
vulnerable. That's right. They know you're vulnerable. But when
Mm-hmm.
you say, I'm sorry, can I help you? Oh, sister, come on, it's all right. It's all
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll say, okay, we can't mess with
You're not matching energy for
her.
energy.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the dark spirits, no. The
Mm-hmm.
dark spirits
The
has an
triggers.
assignment to do
The
just like the
trigger.
light spirits. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So it also, when you're in the beginning stages of living your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
because the dark spirits try to stop you
Mm-hmm.
from living your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So when you feel, okay, everything I'm doing, this ain't working right, or this broke
Mm.
down, or this, mission accomplished.
So they can function with, is that what people, when they refer to principalities, is that what people are referring to? Dark spirits?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So their job is to mess your stuff up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But your weapon is your energy to raise it up. Did you hear that?
And your spirit guides.
And your spirit guides, because they
guides.
help you
Yeah.
to raise it up.
Yeah.
Because that's the triggers. Is that the
Mhm.
triggers?
Yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
it feel like sometimes you just be going along just fine, and you just be like, stuff that'll trigger you just pops out of nowhere. You be like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I'm like, I got an attitude about something. I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. Why did you
Mhm.
get upset about that? Oh
Exactly.
right, okay, you almost got me. I'll be
That's
talking to him
it.
like, you almost got
Mhm.
me. But you know what? I'm not going there today.
Yeah.
But we have to
Exactly.
be active. It almost sounds like we need to be actively aware, number one. So be
Mhm.
aware
Yeah.
and not be foolish,
Mhm.
and then just focus on yourself. I almost feel like focus on myself
Yeah.
and not focus so much on them, because as long as I'm focused on me and raising up, they can't touch this, right?
Exactly.
Is that right? Is that
That's
too
right.
arrogant?
No.
Like, I feel like sometimes
No.
religious people feel like that's arrogant. Like, how you going? And okay, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this.
Mhm.
I felt like at one stage in my awakening, I felt like it was almost like we gave too much power to, like, the devil and all this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
because I felt like in church, and I couldn't even sing certain songs anymore, because I felt
Mhm.
like the songs and the people and the messages were all like
Mhm.
glorifying the stuff that could go wrong and the
Mhm.
negativity, and not God. I mean, is
Mhm.
that crazy, or what do
No.
you think about that?
I heard a song about a month ago, and the very first sentence, I am so glad you died for me.
Mm-hmm.
I am so glad. And said it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do they hear what they're saying? You're glad that somebody died for
Mm-hmm.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Then she said, I'm so glad you rose for me.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been first.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
the little things.
Exactly. But we're conditioned.
Yes.
We are so conditioned. And again, I'm not bashing religion. I would never disrespect what somebody believes.
Right. Right.
What I want is for people to be at peace.
Yes.
At
Yes.
peace.
Yes.
If you're going to church every Sunday and you still feel some kind of way, question it.
Right.
People say
Right.
don't question God. I ask God questions all the time, and He answers me. See, that's what people don't realize. When you go to your parents and they say, "Cause I said so," or they say, "Just go on somewhere." No, I'm asking you not to be a smart aleck.
Right.
I'm asking you because I'm curious and I want to know.
Right.
When my mother was extremely ill, I took care of her like she was a child. I wiped her, I fed her. Well, I didn't have to literally feed her, but I fixed her food, and I became pregnant. I was so happy. That's another story. But one day, I felt like I had two children, and I asked God. I said, God, why did you give me a baby knowing that I'm taking care of my mother full time? This is a lot of work. Why did you give me my son right now? When my mother made her transition, one day I was laying in the bed, in her bed. I could not get out because I was in a deep depression. My son was walking down the hallway. He had to be 3 or 4. Make that move right now, baby. And I just busted out laughing. And I said, that's why. Because had I gotten pregnant after my mother passed,
it would have been different.
My son was old enough. He was able to talk, to articulate what he needed. I didn't have to change diapers. I didn't have to feed him with a bottle.
Right.
So he was at that age where when I went through my depression,
just right,
he helped me get out of it. God answered me. I hate when people say sometimes God answers prayers. Or it was a song, Garth Brooks, I'm so glad God didn't answer my prayer. He did. He told you she wasn't for you.
Right.
See, we don't pay attention to that. God always answers your prayers. Just because you didn't get what you asked for doesn't mean He said that's not for you right now, or I got something better for you. When you apply for that job, or you apply for that loan for that house, and it turns you down. Oh, God didn't answer my prayer. I wanted that house. Then later on down the line, and you see, dang, that house is on the hill with, it's flooding in the basement.
Okay, so that seems to link to happiness because it's kind of like, well, I haven't always been this way, but I kind of got to a point where I'm like, oh, that happened, that really sucked. Okay, well, I'm just gonna move on. But how do people? I think that it's kind of linked to gratitude. It's like being grateful for everything in the current moment that you're in, not knowing what's next, but just being able to be existing here. So for the unhappy people, what do you say to them?
First thing I tell the unhappy people, write down everything that you've accomplished, even with you just getting out of bed or fixing your hair exactly how you wanted it to be. See, we take all that for granted.
Yes, we do.
So we say, oh, this didn't happen for me, or why didn't this go right, or well, are you paying attention to what did?
Right.
The fact that you're a mother, you're a father, and I say mothers because we carry the baby for 9 months, and we birth, whether it's by vaginal or by C-section, we still had to give birth.
Right.
That is the biggest accomplishment.
Right. Okay.
So when we're unhappy, we're focused on what we don't have. That's why I don't do time frames. Oh, by the time I'm 35, I'm gonna be CEO, and by the time I'm 40, I'm gonna have such and such and such and such. If you had told me 5 years before I started working for the court that I would have been working for the court, I would have laughed at you. I didn't know that was my path.
Coming.
Yeah. And every single evictions, the quitting my job, the losing my mother, everything. But I paid attention. I looked at the signs. I looked at, okay, this is why this happened at this time and not that time. And I when I was evicted, I got the eviction notice. The guy knocked at my door. And I said, "Oh, thank you." I said, "Have a good day." He said, "This is the best." He said,
"Thank you for my eviction. Thank you very much."
I said, "You didn't do it." I said, "Thank you." He said, "Oh my goodness." He said, "I've never had this before." I looked at it and I put it on the alderman. I said, "If it's meant for me to stay here," I said, "Gotta." And I'm not sitting up saying, "Oh, gotta make a way," and not doing anything.
Right. We gotta work.
Yeah, I definitely put in the work. But when it was time for me to go, it was time for me to go. And that was a blessing. That's a whole nother topic.
Relief. Yes. Let's take a quick station ID. You're watching Temple of the Divine, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Make sure to like, comment, share, and come back every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern for more topics like this amazing discussion we're having with Miss Crystal Williams here. And you are watching on Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. So let's keep going. We got a few minutes left. This is really amazing discussion we're having. I really appreciate you sharing, because I think that a lot of times people just don't know. Like I remember feeling like I was the only one who felt like I felt. So I think like platforms like this, and when we're talking to you, you understand you're not alone. You're here. There's other people who are experiencing it. And then you start meeting more people like you and all the people you've introduced me to that are also on the journey. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not alone. The other people are the ones that are like, they're the ones who are lost. We're here to help them out because they don't know what's going on. So we got about 10 minutes left here, I think. So what else do you want to share with the audience that can really help them? If you have one thing, like say this is 10 minutes and this is the most important time you have, what is the one thing that you can share with people to help them the most on their journey as they go forward?
Stop doubting yourself.
Stop doubting yourself.
God has given us the gift of discernment, intuition, where if you feel it, how many times has somebody said, man, you know what? She been hating on me for a while. Every time I come to her and I give her, my great news, she say something negative. But that's my girl. We go way back. I've known her since knee-high to a grasshopper. That's your intuition saying she ain't supposed to go with you. So it's time. Longevity means nothing. If they're not bringing you peace, you have to stop. We have to stop doubting ourselves. We doubt ourselves so much. Should I do this? Should I do that? The man who started Yahoo, what's the other one? Microsoft. Different
Google,
businesses.
Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube.
Somebody told them, you must be crazy. Really? Who's gonna buy that? Who's gonna do this?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. We have to fear and doubt. They go hand in hand. We feel it here. We feel it here. Even if you meet somebody, this man is so beautiful. This woman is her spirit is so love. No, but I've been hurt before. Nope, I'm not going down that road again. So no. When we stop doubting and stop living in fear, we will see, oh my goodness, just the flow of blessings and the flow of peace. We'll be able to come home and just woo-saw for real. We doubt ourselves.
So what have you seen as the impact of the whole pandemic and everything? Like, it was fear and doubt was a problem before we ever had that. Okay, so now we had Trump and then we had pandemic. So is meditation the key? Like really to just unplug from that?
Absolutely.
And what about TV and radio and social media?
Off.
That's how we unplug. So here's your answer. Unplug.
Yes.
Unplug from the Matrix. Unplug from the Matrix.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Unplug. Oh, that should be a series name. Unplug.
Ooh, yes.
Somebody already has that, don't they?
You know, I watch TV all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And in watching TV, I don't watch TV for entertainment purposes.
Mm.
I watch TV for the message that they're trying to give us. And a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, they give us messages, but we don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who watch TV for entertainment purposes, or they watch the news to find out what's going on in the world, you got to change your mindset on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because watching, just like the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
everybody freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the movies.
Mhm.
Everybody freaked out. Everybody cleared the shelves. And, you know, you go in the basement, they got 20.
Right. Can't get toilet
Clorox.
paper. Can't get toilet paper.
Exactly.
Can't get toilet paper. Can't get nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
Fear. Again.
But you know what? As you were saying that, I was thinking, we were prepared for that. All those movies that came out beforehand about pandemics and stuff were like setting people up for the behavior that was going to drive that activity right now.
That's why I don't watch it for entertainment. I watch it for the messages. And that's what people don't realize. The pandemic, and that's another topic.
We have a whole show on that.
Yes. But the purpose, I'm not talking about how it started, where it started. That's irrelevant.
Minutia.
Yeah. The bigger picture of the pandemic was God wanting us to get back to the basics. Pray for each other. Help one another.
Talk to
Check
each other.
on. Exactly.
Right.
Check on each other. When they were going all out for prom, and you saw the big old people at their houses, and they got the big balloons, and they just went all out. Birthdays, you spend $1,000 for a hall, and you buy this huge dress and all of this, and the people who just had the drive-bys and when they just drove past and blew their horn, they said that was the best birthday I ever had. Same with churches. They closed all the churches down. God is in you. God is already in you.
Yep.
So
Wake up.
Yes. Everything that we need, and this is what I've learned along my journey with my gurus. It's already, everything we need is already in us. When we got cancer, we run to the doctor and we got to get radiation, and it's already in the earth. Crystals. God gave us crystals because he already knew what was in store for us. But everybody thought that's sorcery.
Right.
Oh, that's the
Witchcraft.
devil. Yeah, exactly.
We've been so programmed.
What's the difference in a crystal and a cross? This has energy in it. The cross is death.
Man-made, yeah.
Yeah, the cross has the crucifix has Jesus hanging on it.
I never heard that perspective before, but you're absolutely right.
I never liked the cross, and I didn't know why. When I was younger, I never liked the cross.
Oh, wow, I never heard that before. You heard that before?
And then I said, that's no different than you wearing a bullet that shot your brother and killed him. It's no different.
Yeah, you're right.
This is
my
like
gosh.
this gives me energy. This protects me. But this is from God. This is from the earth.
Right.
When you eat leafy foods to get rid of cancer, that's from the earth. Man-made stuff ain't for us for consumption.
That's a good point, man. We could just keep going.
I have pins in my ankle right now that I feel every single day, and I say these got to go. These have to go, and I'm getting them out next month. So that's what we have to, is the key words that you asked me: fear and doubt.
Fear and doubt.
Fear and doubt.
So, well, thank you so much, Crystal, for being with us. Thank you for
you
watching.
so much for
know.
having me.
I know you got some serious nuggets. You know what you need to do? You need to replay every day this week. You need to replay this, then make a comment, and
Please
just
do.
on something that you benefited. As a matter of fact, comment right now once we get off air on what is it that you learned. You have been watching Temple of Divine, where we discover, celebrate, and explore the divine in you. Please come back to Wjzz Cool TV, broadcasting Fridays at 2 p.m., and we'll see you next